In our Respectful College policy, it also defines harassment and discrimination. Now, ACC recognizes the paramount status of the Human Rights Code, and so in our policies, we've used the definitions that are already provided for us. Harassment is a course or a series of abusive and unwelcome comment or conduct. Discrimination is when you treat somebody differently based on their belonging to or their association with particular groups. And so when we're talking about harassment and discrimination as human rights issues, what makes it different from bullying is that attachment to a certain group. Under the Human Rights Code, and you'll read about this in the Respectful College policy, it outlines 13 specific group characteristics. Now, these group characteristics are defining or describing groups of people who have been historically disadvantaged because of their membership in a particular type of group. So, for example, because of your age, or your race, or your color, or your religion. And these are all of the elements that creates a diverse community and a diverse campus. So you're going to be reading through the civility document in this module. We don't all have to be the same. We don't have to agree with everything. We have different perspectives and beliefs and ideas. And that's excellent. That actually is what makes a healthy, vibrant community. What is important is how we have these conversations. So when we're thinking about it, and we're thinking about these 13 characteristics, we all belong to each of them in some way, shape, or form. We all have a skin color. We all have some kind of spiritual belief, even if we don't have one that is a belief. And that's respected and protected, or a belief that is maybe not predominant in this area. That's great too. We all have an age, a sex, a gender identity. We all have political beliefs. We all have abilities, and some of us have disabilities too. It's going to get a little bit noisy here. We're going into the kitchen at Micah. What's important is that when we're having conversations about any of these 13 characteristics or any of our ideas, it's not that we all agree. It's not that we shouldn't talk about this, because really this is what makes life so very interesting, is how we are all different and how we can all come together and work together as a community. What matters is that how we do it, and whether or not we were having these conversations in a civil, respectful way. And that's the skill that you need to work on. Now, having said that, if people resort to derogatory names, racialized slurs, homophobic language, sexualized language, transphobic language, ageism, that's not okay. Because any kind of language that is derogatory or dismissive, that is against the Respectful College policy. And that's where you need to be paying attention to yourself and how you're participating in communication, whether it's verbal or whether it's nonverbal. A certified sexual violence and Respectful College policy also provide protections against sexual harassment and sexual violence. Sexual harassment includes any kind of unsolicited or unwanted sexual solicitation or advance. And when we're talking about sexual violence, it expands the definition, recognizing that negative comments about somebody's sex, gender, sexual orientation are examples of sexual violence. It can include pictures, jokes, threats. Sexual violence doesn't just involve assaults. And it's important for all of us to understand, one, what sexual violence is, and also the impacts of sexual violence. In our sexual violence policy, we also have outlined different supports that we have in place for survivors of sexual violence. To access that, if you're a staff person, you contact Human Resources. And if you're a student, please contact a student success advisor that you're comfortable speaking with. You don't need to provide us with details. You don't need to provide us with proof that anything happened. If you're needing help with your academics, you're needing some kind of accommodations, please let us know. And your student success advisor will work with you to try to find supports that will help you finish your program in a successful way. The other thing a student success advisor is able to do is they're able to connect you with resources in the community that may be able to help you in other ways.